My name is Ellen Terry. I am originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I grew up during World War II and had a victory garden. Growing things have always been important to me. And when I was a very tiny girl and visited my grandmother, she lived next to what would be called an undeveloped lot. And when I would go and play in the woods, I would tell her, "Grandma, I am going to the symphony." So nature and gardens have always been very, very important to me.
So what are some of your earliest memories of being here at White's Bog?
I remember quite clearly that the little article in the newspaper said that if you would come and help weed, that you would be given a tour, and I was never given a tour. However, I could give the tour now. This place was a tangle. Vines have taken over everything. Wisteria, Chinese wisteria. There is a native wisteria. Just by the garage was some steel poles that it had grown up around. And you could hardly get in the garage for all the vines. And it was really difficult cleaning up around the shrubberies because the vines would get in under the roots and you didn't want to destroy the plants. I mean, these were Miss White's own shrubs. She planted them there herself. She and June. I remember June Vail very, very well. She was a character. We became very good friends. I know people love White's Bog. I don't feel that you can experience White's Bog to the depths of your soul without being a gardener. I really believe that. And everybody loves this house. But Miss White wasn't about a house. Miss White was in love with growing plants. She was in love with nature. That was Miss White, totally, 100%.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about June Vail at this point?
June Vail was a character and a half. June worshipped Miss White. She really did. She was just so thrilled beyond belief that she was allowed to come and work here. Shortly after June came here, Miss White had a stroke. June learned how to do the physical therapy, doing her exercises. And of course, she came all the way back from the stroke. She had no noticeable residual. She may have had some that I don't know of. But June just idolized her and would do anything for her. And when Miss White died, the family came and took those things which were meaningful to them, and the rest went into a dumpster. June had had some surgery on her hip, but she still had a very bad limp, and she had a built-up shoe where the heel was about this big. Really, even the sole was pretty big. She was really built up because the two legs were not even. She went dumpster diving. Unbelievable, just unbelievable. She got all Miss White's bedroom furniture. So I mean, okay, that fills a truck right there. I know because John Joyce and I got that from the house at the Vail farm, and it filled his truck. That was one day just in June's bedroom, bringing back Miss White's bedroom furniture. Wow. And then all the rest of the stuff. She must have emptied the file cabinets and taken every single file. It was just incredible. Unfortunately, everything that anybody in that family had ever owned was in those two barns and that house. So I'd just fill up my trunk and bring home cartons of papers and go through them one by one. And here's Miss White's, and here's something I don't know what it is, and this is Miss White's, and oh, here's a letter from Gifford Pinchot. It's unbelievable. But she had so much of Miss White's stuff. There was other furniture that came back. I remember the first thing we brought back was a small table used to sit out in this hallway. June liked to build wreaths. So she saved pine cones. Thousands and thousands and thousands of boxes of pine cones. Miss White's property was under those pine cones. When I took the twins, I gave you their names. When I took the twins with me one time, they just started grabbing boxes of pine cones and dumping them behind the barns. Oh dear me. I couldn't take them back after that. June went behind the barns and found her precious pine cones. Yes, she was very upset. She had literally thousands of boxes of pine cones. And she gave me some of her humongous Himalayan pine cones. I still have those. Oh my. Just stuff everywhere. It was a big job bringing back everything, but it was worth it.
So last time you were here, you were telling me about when you and Bill Bolger went picking through the barn and he got lost. Can you tell me that story again, please?
This was the biggest of the barns, and as I recall, the steps went up this way and then they turned 90 degrees and went this way. And you got to the top and there was maybe this much width that you could get through to the other end. You could hardly get up the stairs. There was only about this much width on the stairs because it was stacked with boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of pine cones. I couldn't make this up. It was unreal. So I got to the top of the stairs and Bill said, "Ellen, are you there?" I could not see Bill. Of course, the boxes were up over my head. So I started following his voice, and I saw that there was a door. I saw there was a door because about this much space you could see through. It was stacked. Now it has to have been more than this because, has to have been more like this because somehow crawled up the boxes and over into and dropped down into this other room where some of the floorboards had rotted away. And there, right next to this door, was a trunk, and there was Bill, not on his knees, actually. He was kneeling on boxes of pine cones and digging stuff out of this trunk. And I'm saying, "Oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember her telling me that was there. Yes, I remember this. I remember that." All the stuff he was pulling out. June had packed this trunk in 1954. This was something around 2004. She remembered what she had packed in that trunk. And this was one of the first things that Bill found. What had possessed him to leave the first large room of that barn and go through that door? I guess because he saw the light at the top, he was curious. Oh, there's another room. And up and over he went. And then he found the trunk. And I don't know, I hopped down, and there he was, kneeling on pine cones, emptying the trunk. And then he pulled out the hat. And that is the hat that she wore in so many photographs. I recognized it right away, and I knew that June had told me that her hat was in there. Then we got to the bottom. Bill said, "Oh no, I think June has cornered the market on string. It was crochet cotton. Thousands of balls of crochet cotton at the bottom of this trunk. What that has to do with Miss White, I don't know. We left the crochet cotton. Okay. We brought back her evening purse, her silk evening purse, and we brought back her hat. We brought back all the other things that June had pushed into that trunk. And ultimately the trunk came back too. I don't think we brought it back that day because of all the boxes of pine cones we would have had to move. But that was quite an experience. And that trunk is really tall. And of course, Bill was kneeling on boxes about the height of this bench. So I did not realize that the trunk went, I almost fell head first into it. Trying to reach in. It was so deep. Oh, it was a huge trunk. Oh yeah, that was one of my memorable moments. Oh. And that was the room where I found that pedestal over there in the corner that was always in that corner, all the way from where the door at the trunk was, all the way at the far end, with a bunch of junk on top of it, were the glass cloches that she used. Really incredible. And her chair. That was the other thing that was there. It was on top of the glass cloches. Not in good shape, but that was her chair. I recognized it right away. I brought it downstairs. June said, yes, that's the chair that she used to sit by the window.